Hi, this is Ron Janish, and this video is for course members only. I'm going to show you something that you may not already know about, and it's kind of neat. And then we're going to show you something new that's come up that will be available to you. Okay, one of the things that we talk about in the course is the zoom concepts. Prices. The theory is prices zoom the ML, retrace back, and then go further in the original direction. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to focus on what's called the zoom failure. Okay, um, we're just going to look at zoom failures, and we're going to look at some good size ones, usually min 3s, 4s, and that's minimum 3 bars in between the high and the low, something like that. Some good size ones. Anyway, so if you notice here, prices zoomed the ML, went back, tried to come back down, so you had a zoom failure, and then up you go. One of the things that happens when you have a zoom failure, you will very often have your support or resistance on that ML or MLH. So this is the ML that you use to find the zoom. See, here's your close beyond. All right, prices went up, looking for it to come down. If it doesn't, it's going to hold here. Now, coming down to here and holding here, that would be lower. So it would more than likely hold here if it's going to hold. And then up we go. Let's see some more examples of this zoom failure. Let's see, I picked out some nice big ones. Here's your zoom. Up we go. Comes down for a zoom failure. Comes down. Tries to make it down. Isn't able to. You have your zoom failure. And up you go. Let's see. And this was part of Andrew's concept in that if the course rules don't work, since there's such high probability that they're probably going to go somewhere else and something else in a strong fashion is going to happen. Let's take a look at this. Prices zoom the ML, retrace back, went up real nicely to the ML, and then down we went. Okay, there's your zoom failure. Nice big one. Here we go. Here we have another zoom. Goes back up, comes back here, gets its support, boom. I have some more that I drew. Let's see. No, that's all I drew. Okay, so now we've covered the zoom failure rule and how to use the course lines with that. It's real easy. You're only really drawing one ML and the complementary H's, and you see it right there in front of you, right? Okay, so let's see what else we have. Okay, one of the things that we're looking at doing is offering the Babson Forex Futures course. This is an extension of what we've had before. It uses some of the concepts that we already have in the course, and so as a result, anything you've already paid for the course, you will get credit for in getting this particular item. And because if somebody new came in and got this, they would have to pay the same money that you did plus for this item here. So this is anyway, here's what it covers. The first thing we have is we have something called a primary indicator, and the primary indicator is used for determining what I call a reversal rating. So what happens is that if you look at a chart, you say, well, okay, if it reverses here, what's the reversal rating? And typically your reversal rating is going to be somewhere between 0 and mostly 6, sometimes higher. But anyway, so what happens is you get a nice reversal rating, and that's your primary indicator. And your primary indicator, so if you have a reversal rating of 4 or higher, that's really good. Anything less than that is questionable. Okay, that's where you get your zoom failures and those kind of things. So then what happens is you have that. So let's say you have a reversal rating in this area here of 4, 5, 6, which you did, and it was at least 4. And then you go at it with what's called the secondary indicator, and the secondary indicator is what I call the expected reversal line, or the reversal expected line. This particular line is different from what we've we've looked at so far. It's calculated in a specific way, and it's actually one of two lines, and either line number one, or in some strange situations it's line number two. Okay, and you know that ahead of time which one you're going to use. Most of the time you use line number one. All right, so that's your secondary indicator, and what you're expecting is that prices will bounce off this line, and they don't have to bounce off the line perfectly, but as you can see here, you have one bounce, two bounce, three, four, and then away you go, and then you happen to have had an EP in here. Now then you have tertiary indicators, and there are two tertiary indicators. One is the EP, and then there's something else. And most of the time, if an EP exists, you use the EP, and if an EP doesn't exist, then you use the other one. Simple as that. So you look at this pattern and you say, oh yeah, well, when you're over here, let's say, have this much data, you don't have an EP yet, say, well, I've got one or two bounces, let's wait and see what happens. And then once you get an EP, you're using the EP in here, and that's when you can do some good stuff. So so that's how that works. And any of you that have purchased original and used documents from me or RCS will receive a price adjustment of an additional 10% over what you paid per original. Now, in the event that some of you are going to say, well, Ron, why can't I just go and buy a few of those originals from you now, since you always sell those, and this way I get 10% over what I paid for them? And yeah, I'll do that. Okay. And so you can use that, and you don't have to hand me the originals in order to get credit for that, because what we're trying to do with the Andrews documents is use the money we get to fund building the library, so we can have more and more and more. Okay. Now, okay. So one of the lines that we use in this here is the expected reversal line, and it kind of comes in. Once I have a high rating on something, I draw the line, and sometimes I get a nice little bounce here and there, and that's it. This was a recent bottom in a chart. Here's one where prices went through the line twice. We had a reversal rating of I think it was 4 on this one here, and so it was worth doing. But since you don't have an EP, what you do is then you look at the other tertiary indicator that that is true, and that's real obvious. It's either true or it isn't. Okay. And then typically when you have this kind of a pattern here, your absolute worst case maximum stop initially, if you get in this area here, is going to be 1% above the extreme where you had the tertiary indicator. So that's the absolute maximum worst case stop, and prices rarely, if ever, go to that. Okay. Let's see. Here's another one. What is this guy here? Ah, this is an S&P chart. Oh, okay. Now here we had looked like an EP. What happened was prices came up to the expected reversal line, and they just kind of stopped and reversed, which was kind of interesting. It doesn't always happen like that, but what happened, it did happen there, and you could look at this and justify it and say, well, gee, if you label these as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you have your 2, 4 down and your 1, 3, 5 up, gee, that's an EP. And yeah, that's cool. You can do that. And one of the things, and here's another one. This is a recent chart, and here's your expected reversal line. And in this one here, you also had a rating of like 5 or 6, and so prices went up past the median line and then came back down, and then we finally had a nice big move to the upside. So one of the things I like to look for when I see an EP is I like to see if there's an expected reversal line down there, and the reason is because with the EP, even though you can draw a line from the 1, 3, and prices often don't make it much past that line, Sometimes they do, and they just keep on going and keep on going and keep on going. And so what I'll use as a reference point instead is the expected reversal line. And this is it drawn here. So that's kind of different, and and so yeah, like you had one here, and you have one there, and you have one there. So anyway, that is what we have. That is our Babson Forex slash futures course. It's focused on that. With that we have a module that you can use for stocks, but if you have this for Forex and futures, um, stocks are kind of a hassle, even though I do them sometimes. So that's what's new. That's the new Babson Forex course, and if you're interested in that, let me know. And right now we are giving you the the amount off of whatever you've paid so far for the course, plus in the event that you do or have purchased some original Andrew stocks from me or the company, you get 110% credit for that, and you never have to hand them back to me, so you can keep them as keepsake, right? Maybe they'll go up in value. So I thank you for your time, and I'm going to review once again that other thing I talked about, okay, the zoom failure. So once again, here you have a zoom, prices go up, and then they'll often hold that same ML. Another example. So here you have your zoom, like crazy, retrace back, and they hold almost exactly at a line, and then boom. That's your zoom failure. Once again, here you have the zoom, boom, boom. Now this will often be in conjunction with the ongoing trend. So let's see, what is this thing here? What was I doing here? Oh, this is part of an older one. Here we go. So here you had an uptrend, right? Because you had 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And so they go up here, they come down here, and then boom, up they go further. Okay, take a look at this again. Okay, they zoom here because you've been going up for a while. Zoom here, come up here, get support here, and then further they go. Okay, and that's a good example of a zoom failure. Let's see another one. Here we go. Okay, so they come down nicely, and they come up, and they zoom up, and fake a whole bunch of people out. Come back down, and then watch for that ML or that H, and then away we go the other way. Okay, so that's something to watch. Here's another example. Prices are going up nicely. They zoom through the ML, close beyond it, go up, right, and stop at that H, and then keep on going. Okay, so I thank you for your time, and this is for course members only. Bye.